You're Amanda Torres?
Yes.
Is your husband Ernesto?
Yes.
Do you know this man here to my right?
Yes.
Who's that?
That's Nick Mew.
And how do you know Nick?
I've known him for almost 20 years.
How did you get to know him through those 20 years?
Work.
Did you ever socialize with him outside of work?
Yes. Probably the past 5, 6, 7 years.
Okay. You've been to his house?
Yep.
He's been to your house? You just need to say yes or no
Yes.
verbally, or as opposed to just shaking your, or nodding your head. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Does-
Yes.
Okay. I want to ask you some questions about Mr. Mew's character, okay? Do you feel like you know his character?
Yes.
Does he have a character for peacefulness?
Yes. Yeah.
I want to now switch a little bit and ask you in general about July 30th of 2022, okay?
Okay.
Were you on the river that day with your husband and Nick's wife
Yes.
and other friends?
Yes.
During that time, did you see people within your group drinking alcohol?
They had a few.
Did you observe anyone that was intoxicated?
No.
Did you have any concerns about anybody's level of intoxication? How about Nick in particular?
No.
I want to ask you about a knife, okay?
Yes.
Have you seen Nick carry a pocket knife before?
Yes.
Have you seen him use that pocket knife before?
Yes.
How can you just describe in what context or where you've seen him use that pocket knife?
He always seems to have one, like at our house with the pool, help setting up the pool and things like that, and that's about it, all I really seen.
Have you seen him use it as a tool to fix things?
Yeah, yes,
Have you seen him use it as a sharp item to cut rope or other matters?
yes.
Okay. On that day, did you see Nick with a knife?
I believe I did, but at the beginning.
On that day, did you see Nick use the knife to cut some rope?
Yes, I think I did, yes.
Okay. At some point on that day, did you become aware that someone in your group had lost a phone?
Yes.
Whose phone was lost?
Ariel.
Up until that point, can you just describe Mr. Mew's demeanor, your observations of him that day?
He was happy, everybody was relaxed, he was relaxed, just having a good time, just relaxing on the river.
Same character you've seen of the 20 years over that you've known him.
Yes.
When Ariel lost his phone, did you see, I don't want to know the contents, but was there discussion about what to do?
I didn't really hear much of that conversation, I just knew that he lost it, and Nick said, I'll go find it, I can go find it. I know Ariel said, don't worry about it.
Okay. Did you see Nick leave to go, in what you thought was him going to look for the phone?
Yes.
At the time that he left, what was he wearing?
What was he wearing?
What's that?
Shorts?
Had you seen him wearing other items earlier in the day?
A shirt and a hat, I think.
Had you seen him snorkeling earlier in the
Yes.
day? When you saw him snorkeling earlier in the day, did he wear his hat and sunglasses?
No.
Did he wear his shirt?
No. He put it back on when he came back.
And we'll get to that in a second. When you saw him leave to go look for the phone, did he have his snorkel and goggle with him?
I didn't notice that.
My understanding is, just to cut to the chase here, that you didn't observe anything going down, happening downriver between Nick and any other group of people. Would you
No.
agree?
Yes.
The first you learned about it is you heard somebody say something, right?
Yes.
What did you hear?
Sandy said, Nick's in trouble. Nick's in trouble. Go help him.
And when you heard that, did you see people in your group leave?
I think it was Ernesto and Ariel. I think that was the only two people I saw.
Once you heard that, though, you still weren't able to, for whatever reason, you either didn't look or you couldn't see what was going on down there.
I couldn't from where I was sitting, and the tubes were, whoops, sorry, in front of me, and I couldn't really see over it. I had to get up, like stand up.
And I see you're wearing glasses today.
Yeah.
Were you wearing glasses when you were going down?
Sunglasses.
Okay, prescription sunglasses?
Yes.
Okay, so your vision wasn't impaired from lack of glasses?
No.
It was more just your positioning where you were at?
Yes.
And I understand at some point after this, you saw Nick come back to your group, is that right?
Yeah, I didn't see him walk up. I just was standing, just watching the crowd, and then he just appeared on my right side.
Okay, and now I'm gonna ask you some questions, but I don't want the content of the words, okay? So I'm gonna ask you about, did you ask Nick what happened?
I looked at him and I said,
Did you ask Nick what happened, yes or no?
yes.
And you can't tell me the words, but did Nick tell you an answer to that question?
Yes.
He gave you an answer?
Yeah, a few words.
Okay. Now I want to ask you about what you saw of him, okay? When you were having that conversation with him, you're standing right in front of him? Again, you just need to give a verbal answer,
Yes.
ma'am. Okay. And when you've seen him for 20 years, right?
Yes.
In that time, I think you spoke with the police before, but when you're sitting there on the river or standing there on the river talking to him, how did he appear?
Well, in shock.
What's that?
In shock. Just
And-
stunned and like frozen.
Okay. Have you seen him in that state before?
No.
I think you'd previously used words like ghostly white or pale.
Yes.
Would those accurately describe what you saw him that day?
Yeah, yes.
I think you'd said he had a ghost look on his face.
Yes.
Is that what you saw?
Yes.
And then you concluded, based upon your knowing him for as long as you had, that he appeared to be in shock.
Yes.
Not like shock as in surprise, but shock like as in a physiological, psychological condition.
Yeah.
Obviously not from a medical term, but just a colloquial person term, right?
Yes.
That's all.
Mr. Anderson, any questions?
Yes. So, you told law enforcement Nick wasn't drinking much that day,
No.
right? No, you didn't say that, or yes, you did say that?
I believe I said that.
Yeah. You said he was dumping out his beers and putting water in them?
Oh, he does that like when we have get-togethers. at the
Okay.
house.
He wasn't on that day?
No. Not that I know.
So as far as you know, there's no reason Nick would say, I was drinking a lot?
No.
So did you see injured people?
I did not. I saw the young boy on the side. I didn't know what his injuries were.
You saw he was getting CPR?
Yes.
And did you see someone else on the shore being aided?
No.
You didn't hear anyone crying for help or anything like that?
I did not. It was really loud. There was screaming and people running. But no, I didn't see anybody else injured.
Do you speak Spanish?
No.
So Nikolai was in shock, and you determined that because his face was pale and what, not speaking?
Yeah, he just said a very brief few words and just stood there just kind of like in shock.
Okay. Can I get a couple exhibits? 7 and 63. Was he stiff or rigid or like his body?
I would say kind of stiff.
He wasn't like relaxed at all or anything?
No.
I'm going to show you a video and ask you some questions about it. This is Exhibit 60, or no. So was he like that the whole time you were with him until he was taken into custody?
Yes.
So stiff, rigid, not talking, white face, anything else?
No.
Okay. This is Exhibit 85. Spinning, I apologize, Judge. All right, can we have the monitor, please? Something's wrong. Sorry, I'm gonna have Investigator Schultz do it. All right, I want you to pay attention to Nikolai in this video. I'm gonna ask you some questions.
He has something like hammer in his hand.
Just take a picture and save it.
I don't take a picture, take a video.
You
I
pause.
take a video.
He looks pretty nonchalant, relaxed in that video, agreed?
Yeah.
And that was after you had left the incident location, right? Doesn't look stiff.
Not that I can see, no.
He's leaning
See
back
his
in his,
face.
he's leaning back in his tube and paddling along with his hand.
Yeah.
Show you another video. And so you've known him a long time. You said you could recognize that he was in shock, so I want to ask you about this video. This is a 23-second body cam of Sheriff Knudsen. I think we're ready.
Camera recording started.
Still doing all right? Yeah. Okay.
What's going
Temperature? Temperature's okay in here?
on? Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody,
All right.
I hear somebody got stabbed, and I fit the description.
Yes, you do.
All right.
Yep. So we're working through that now.
Agreed, he doesn't look pale or ghostly white there.
No.
He doesn't sound distressed, agreed?
He sounds a little distressed.
He does?
I think so.
Okay. Why? What about it sounds distressed?
Just the way he's talking. I mean, it's not, he's more energetic, more, not just kind of sitting there.
Could also be because he's nervous because of what just happened and,
Yes.
okay. And do you know if you don't know if him being quiet was because he was afraid he was going to get arrested, or because he was in shock, right?
Yeah.
You do know?
No, I don't know. Say that again?
You don't know if he was quiet and different than how he normally is because he thought he was going to get arrested or because he was in shock?
I think in shock.
You think, but you don't know, right?
Well, no, I don't know.
Nothing else.
Mr. Nelson?
You came here to tell the jury about your observations of a man you know, correct?
Yes.
And the observations that you told the jury, were those accurate?
Yes.
Is that what you saw?
Yes.
Then you were asked some questions about a video. Was that at a different time than what you told the jury about what you saw?
The video I just saw?
Yeah, I think there's 3 moments in time you were asked about. I asked you about what did Mr. Mew look like right when he came back to the tube.
Yeah.
Agreed?
Yes.
And then you were shown a video about another moment in time that's
Yeah.
later, correct?
Later, yeah.
You agree that's about an hour later?
Objection to these are all leading. This is his witness.
Sustained.
Do you know what time that video is taken in relation to when you made your observation of him in shock?
The second,
The video where he was sitting in the tube, do you know when that was in time in relation to when you saw him with a white face and pale?
maybe 20 minutes? I'm just guessing.
Okay. Did you, when he came back to the tubes, did the group wait at the tubes or did they leave right away?
No, we waited.
Do you know how long the group waited?
It seemed like a very long time, but it's probably maybe 20, 25 minutes.
Okay. And do you know when that video was taken right away when you guys started going back down? Or was it near the exit? Or was it some other time? Do you know when that video is?
I think towards the exit.
Okay. Do you know how long the trip was from when you left the sandbar after the 20, 25 minutes that you stayed there until you got to the exit?
Is it like 45 minutes, I think?
Okay. So would you, I'm just trying to get us to the math here. Sounds like it's about an hour after when you had the conversation with him where you were talking.
I think so, yes.
Okay. In that video that we saw, were you able to see his face?
No,
Do you know what Mr. Mew was doing in that 60 minutes between the time that you described him as shocked, stunned, rigid until that time?
what he was doing? No.
Do you know if at all his appearance changed?
I don't know. I couldn't see his face.
Do you know if it did change, when it changed?
No,
Do you know if it did change, why it changed?
I don't know.
You were then asked some questions about what you saw, this 23-second video. That's a different moment in time, agreed?
Yes,
And is that happen after the video where you see him in the water or before the video in the water?
which video?
There was a video of Mr. Mew in the back of the squad car
Okay.
that was 23 seconds long.
Yes,
Do you know, did that take place before he was in the tube that we saw or after
that's
he was?
after.
And then that video, could you see his face?
Yes,
When you saw his face there, did you, having known this man, think that he looked like he was in some sort of distress?
it looked to me, yes.
That's all.
Mr. Anderson?
The reason you waited 20 minutes is because Eric Von Williams was helping with the people who were injured, right?
I didn't know he went down there.
And then when you eventually did leave, it was because Nikolai said, let's go, right?
He did not say, let's go.
He didn't?
I didn't hear it.
Nothing else.
Thank you, Ms. Torres. You may step down.
Thank you.
Mr. Nelson, do you have any other witnesses?
We do, but not for today. So those are the only witnesses we're able to call on short notice to get prepared for today.
Very good. Anything else that we can do today, Mr. Anderson?
Not in the presence of the jury, no, just some exhibits I think we need to clean up.
All right. So we can do that after we excuse the jury. Members of the jury, the attorneys assure me that we are ahead of schedule. We still are ahead of schedule and expect to be so in the next couple of days. So that's all good news, despite the fact that we're going to get an early recess today. My reminders are the same as before. No independent research, no investigation. Do not speak to anybody about this case, and do not watch any media reports or social media accounts about this trial. We'll see you back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Please take the jury out.